Welcome to our time for diaspora. If you are living abroad, if you're working abroad, if you just left or have been there for some time, this program is for you to talk about your faith, your family, your fitness, and your finance. Whichever way you want to go through with it. That's why we call it RFC Diaspora. Faith, family, finance, and fitness. You're welcome. Now, let's talk about something that is very peculiar. Very, very peculiar. You know, if you have lived your life in Nigeria all these years, you will notice something about government in Nigeria. And when you travel, particularly to Western world, you will notice the vast difference. It's like between night and day, the government there and government here. So today, let's discuss you and government. This is vitally important. You know, when you cross the shore of Nigeria and get to another country, you notice that the practice of government in Nigeria is like we're in the dark ages. And so you must learn how to be able to live with the government there. And you must understand, you know, usually we Nigerians, or particularly African people, we've been used to powers and government and rulers who just do their own things and get the job done in the way they like it. But that's not the way it is. The Western world particularly has been founded on some level of godly basis that were done by their parents years ago. Of course, they are still enjoying it now. Things like public honesty, accountability, governance, competence, character, they are part and parcel of the society's good. But here in Africa, we're still largely in dark ages when it comes to government. So you will see that as a child of God who lives in a foreign land, particularly the Western world, you see that the word of God actually works in certain areas when it comes to government, unlike here when you are here in Nigeria. Let's look at Romans 13. It will give us some kind of enlightenment about governance, which the founding fathers of Europe and America, not America and Europe, and the Western civilization, the Caucasians, they used to kind of base their governmental system on. And let's read Romans 13. This is from the book of Romans 13 from verse 1. It says this: everyone must submit to governing authority, for all authority comes from God, and this position of authority have been placed there by God. So anyone who rebels against authority is rebelling against what God has instituted, and they'll be punished. For the authorities do not strike fear in people who are doing right. I'm reading from New Living Translation. But in those who are doing wrong, will you like to live without fear of the authorities? Do what is right, and they will honor you. The authorities are God's servants sent for your good. But if you are doing wrong, of course you'll be afraid, for they have power to punish you. They are God's servants sent for the very purpose of punishing those who do what is wrong. So you must submit to them, not only to avoid punishment, but also to keep a clear conscience. Pay your taxes too for these same reasons. For government workers need to be paid. They are serving God in what they do. Give to everyone what you owe them. Pay your taxes and government fees to those who collect them, and give respect and honor to those who are in authority. Isn't that amazing? I mean, if you read something like this in Nigeria, you wonder, you just laugh. I mean, this kind of thing it doesn't work here. But actually it works there. You know, the founding fathers of the Western world believe that authority is a trust. It's not something just kind of a tyrant you take for giving. Might does not have right over there. Right has might. That's the difference. So we need to look at that and know that when you cross over, you have to see that right has might, not just might has right. And that you must be aware of, that authority there, they may not claim God now, but then the founding fathers sees the government authority as one that actually rules over people with sense of accountability, and they are responsible. That is very, very important. That we need to see. If you don't see that, things can be more difficult for you. Things can be more really hard for you. You know, in Nigeria is who you know. You know, there is what you know about the rules and regulations of the country or the place where you are living. This is vitally important, very, very important, to be able to cooperate and work with the law. Now, over there, the authority punishes those who disobey. Do you get what I just said? The authority punishes those who disobey. But the authority encourages those who do right. And that's what we just read in the book of Romans. It's very clear there. Let's go back in there and read it again. Let's go to verse 3 in Romans. Listen to this. For the authority do not strike fear in people who are doing right, but in those who are doing wrong. Would you like to live without fear of authority? Do what is right, and they will honor you. Did you hear that? Do what is right, and they will honor you. If you do what's right with the government, they will honor you. But if you do what is wrong, they're coming after you. And unlike Nigeria, you can just kind of dodge around, be ready to cooperate with authority. When you do that, it makes life quite easy for you. So over there, the authorities are servants. They're not just masters and rulers and tyrants that just do their own thing, but they are servants working for your good. Every time you do what is right, they will back you up. And let's go further. Nigeria, we don't pay taxes. We don't do kinds of things. We just do what we like here. Because, when you pay the money, somebody else will go and chop it, like we usually say over here. But over there, you see, things are working well because they use this money to run things. And so when you are paying taxes and dues and levies over there, they are actually used for what is important. And so that's why the Bible said this over there. Let's go back and read it over again. Verse 6, Romans 13, verse 6. It says, pay your taxes too for these same reasons. For government workers need to be paid. They are serving God in what they do. Give to everyone what you owe them. Pay your taxes and government fees to those who collect them, and give respect and honor to those who are in authority. So, my friend, my brother, my sister, this is what we need to do. Pay your taxes. When you are in Nigeria, you count it as you're just wasting your money. But over there, it takes your taxes to run things, to make things work. All the things being provided, they're actually being used. They're actually being done by people's taxes. And so when you pay taxes, when you do all these levies and do kind of thing like that, you will really be on the side of the government. But when you start dodging and refusing and cutting corners, it can be difficult for you. So I don't want life to be difficult for you. You cooperate with the government and authority and then work with them and then pay your taxes and levies. And please don't try and disobey the law. You will really struggle in a very bad way. When I say the law over there, I mean the laws that run society that are quite good, that for benefit. Now, any law that says that you should not worship God and obey God, that's different. But by and large, the laws in foreign land, particularly the Western world, they encourage honesty, they encourage accountability, and they encourage hard work and industriousness. Now, if you just want to be lazy around, you don't want to do things you want to do, you want to avoid things, you want to cut corners, it will be quite difficult for you to cope. So I want to talk to you today, I'm repeating myself again, that obey the governing authority. They are set up for just and egalitarian society to work quite well. So when you're in the foreign land, let's do it well, particularly in the Western world. Remember, in Nigeria, anything goes. But outside there, they have some rules and they follow it, and they're not partial. Of course, there are some levels of partiality too, but by and large, they favor those who are honest, those who are serious, those who are going somewhere. Don't be against authority. It will not be easy to escape. But when you have authority and do what they ask you to do, it will be easier for you to really flourish in that land. Thank you for listening. Till we see you again.